is real.
If the moon landing was real, how did they broadcast hours of video before satellites or Wi-Fi even existed? Pause and picture this. It's 1969. Your TV flickers in black and white. Back then, even local news signals struggled to travel across cities without static. Yet somehow, a tiny module nearly 240,000 miles away supposedly streamed live, flawless footage across the entire world. Instantly. Doesn't that sound almost supernatural? Now imagine you're one of the engineers in that dim control room, surrounded by humming machines, spinning reels, and blinking consoles. You're told a fragile radio wave will cut through cosmic radiation, magnetic storms, and endless space, and land perfectly on Earth. No delay, no distortion, just crystal clear images from another world. Meanwhile, transatlantic calls at that time required massive undersea cables. There were no orbiting satellites for global broadcasting. So where exactly did that moon signal bounce from? A hidden relay? A classified ground station? Or maybe something far closer than we were led to believe? Think about this. If signals could travel hundreds of thousands of miles through space without interruption, why did engineers struggle to send clear TV across continents? Why could we stream the moon, but not the next country over? And what about timing? One misalignment, one solar flare, one atmospheric ripple, and the feed should have collapsed instantly. But it didn't. It ran for hours, smooth, uninterrupted, almost too perfect. As if the signal wasn't coming from deep space at all, but from somewhere much more local. Every law of physics, every technological limit of that era says it shouldn't have worked. Yet history calls it flawless, conveniently flawless. Doesn't that perfection feel rehearsed? Maybe the real transmission wasn't from the moon, but from a studio much closer to home. Because, you know, when a story fits too neatly into the myth of progress, that's when it deserves to be questioned most. So next time you hear, "It was live from space," ask yourself, live from where exactly?
I mean, he's not wrong. It's definitely not wrong. Came from Utah. Utah, Massachusetts. I mean, yeah, and also some weird stuff about that is that they actually wouldn't allow the news stations to, like, tap into the feed. So what they did, they actually projected the feed on a wall at ground control, NASA, and they recorded the projection off the wall and then streamed that. Just fed that into TVs and stuff for people. It was all very weird because the president was literally saying that we were incapable of doing it. It was not going to work. It didn't matter how much money we had. It didn't matter what we did. We would not beat Russia there, right? Russia was like leagues ahead of us on making this happen. And then just one day everything flipped. And we're just like, psych, we're going to the fucking moon, bitches. I don't think that that was real.
Enki, one of the leading Anunnaki, proposed creating primitive workers, called Lulu, to relieve the Anunnaki of their laborious tasks on Earth. He identified beings in the Abzu, who walked upright and used their front limbs as arms as potential candidates for modification. These beings lived among animals, competed for territory, and had hairy bodies similar to early Anunnaki ancestors. Enki captured these beings and presented them to the Anunnaki, suggesting they could be modified with Anunnaki essence. Ningish Zida examined the beings and found their essence similar to the Anunnakis, proposing that combining their essences would create a suitable worker. Enlil opposed the idea, advocating for the use of tools instead of creating new beings. Despite Enlil's objections, a council on Nibiru decided to proceed with the creation of the new beings for the sake of Nibiru's salvation. Enki and Ninmah led the experiments, attempting various combinations of essences and using crystal vessels for fertilization. Initial attempts faced challenges, but Enki suggested using vessels made from earthly materials, leading to the successful birth of a boy named Adamu, exhibiting a mix of Anunnaki and earthly features.
And after he made Adamu, he made Eve Vamu. Eve Vamu. Eve Vamu. He made Eve.
This is the Milan Cathedral in Italy. And allegedly it was built in the 1300s and supposedly took 600 years to do, with hammer and chisel, horse and cart, ropes and pulleys, and just brute strength to create this amazing, beautiful, perfectly symmetrical structure with no technology, no power tools. How did they complete this? How did they build this? And they just had masterful level stonemasonry skills and just excellent project management and transferring of responsibilities over 600 years. This cathedral is made out of marble. And they mined it 60 miles away and just hauled it with brute strength over to Milan and built it. How did they get the marble up there? How did they hoist it up? How did they hand chisel it to be perfect? And that door, what is this door? Look at that door. Look how big that door is. That door is built for a giant. Why would they build a door that big for regular people? Look at those people and look at that door. Oh, it's just for design. It's just for, aesthetics.
Seems legit, I guess. I don't know. I know there are amazing stonemasons, and there were things built by humans that were like incredible. Like you look at them and you're just like, how did a human do this? And it comes from me not knowing how to do that, where I'm like, this is incredible. I see someone do a backflip, I'm like, holy shit, that guy's an alien, right? I think a lot of it stems from just not being able to fathom and not being able to really appreciate how something is done, because we ourselves as individuals don't know how to do things. But at the same time, I'm also somebody who thinks that the Anunnaki created the human race and that they were giants and that dolphins would rule the world if they had opposable thumbs. So maybe I'm not the person to ask about this one in particular.
So we begin to wonder, what happens when the universe whispers something we're not ready to hear? There are these profound moments in physics, these turning points, where a single observation shatters everything we thought was solid, where reality itself seems to tilt on its axis. And right now, we're standing at the edge of one of those moments. Picture this. July arrives, and with it, a faint speck of light appears against the cosmic backdrop. Nothing remarkable at first glance, just another silent traveler drifting through an ocean of darkness. But here's where it gets interesting. That seemingly insignificant pinpoint would evolve into something that challenges the very foundations of what we know. We call it 3-Eye Atlas, marking it as the third visitor from beyond our solar neighborhood to cross our threshold. Yet even that label, that simple designation, feels almost naive now, because what we're watching doesn't follow the script. It refuses to behave like the comets we've studied, the asteroids we've mapped, or any celestial wanderer in our extensive catalogs. Something about it feels fundamentally different. Let me paint you a picture that might make you pause. Imagine something tearing through space at 152,000 miles per hour. Think about that velocity for just a moment. We're talking about speeds that dwarf nearly everything else moving through our cosmic backyard by a factor of 5. Your typical space debris, those asteroids and meteoroids we monitor, they glide past at maybe 20,000 or 30,000 miles per hour. But this is operating on an entirely different scale. And here's what really captures the imagination. When researchers rewound its path, tracing back through space and time, they discovered something extraordinary. Atlas didn't originate from our asteroid belt. It didn't come from the distant Kuiper belt or even the mysterious Oort cloud. No, this
traveler came from absolute darkness, is what he said at the end of the video there. Just cut him off. I think a lot of this, I don't really know what to think of 3-Eye Atlas, other than I hope it's aliens. Just like, they don't even have to come here, dude. I just want to hear, like, oh, they're aliens. They said, what's up? We're getting star seeds. It was from what I heard. I don't even know what a star seed is. Let me know what a star seed is down in the comments, if you know, please, so I can better understand this. But I think a lot of this kind of comes from us not understanding anything outside of our solar system. We don't even understand everything within our solar system, but something coming from the outside of our solar system that is completely like against everything that we've known isn't too surprising to me. It's like our first interaction with something that completely like questions our knowledge of existence, right? Which is, it's kind of scary and kind of weird, but it's like saying if something were to move faster than the speed of light, then Einstein's theory of relativity would be completely negated, I guess, meaning that all of our basic understanding of physics and space and time would be wrong. It probably is, you know, it probably is, because there's so much out there that we don't understand and can't interact with and can't study to really understand, you know, what's outside of what keeps our solar system and our ecosystems growing and moving.
So President Putin has said a few things that's got me a little rattled, and I think it'll have you rattled as well. Give me a second, let me explain. President Putin of Russia came out on the world stage and he gave a speech. In that speech, he said, I have proof, and this is all alleged. He said, I have proof that the American people are eating each other unbeknownst to them. That we are being fed each other, and we have no clue about it. Yeah, that's what he said. Number two, he said that allegedly he has video, audio, satellite images all across the board that will disprove what we have been taught and told about 9/11. Yeah. I don't know about you. I can't speak for everybody in the U.S. But President Putin, if you have this proof, release it. The American people want to know.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. If he has it, I want to know. And we already know that, well, we already assume, right? I guess nobody knows for sure, but we know that 9/11 was different from how we were told it was portrayed. And as far as eating people, I mean, I can see Taco Bell. You know, they used to serve horse meat. I can see them serving, you know, human meat. That'd be gross. I love Taco Bell. I don't think I'd stop eating there. There are very few things that could make me stop eating Taco Bell, and that's definitely up there. That might do it. That might do the trick. We would have to see. Hope I don't have to find out. But also, in translating other languages and things, some things are taken out of context and taken differently or taken literally, right? So, you know, Americans eating each other, we kind of have been. Just like with the way we treat each other, just the way we no longer respect each other. The fact that, you know, patriotism has become like a bad thing, and that like facts and data are bad. Like anything that hurts someone's feelings or makes them feel bad or makes them question their thoughts or their morals or their beliefs is considered toxic now, and it's bad. And that's stupid. That's really stupid, but maybe that's what he's talking about. That's what I would think anyway.
Did you hear that 3i Atlas just sent a message to Earth and it passed by Mars and they caught this photo of it? It has no comet tail or asteroid particleage coming out of the back of it. That's the same photo with the black removed in the background, taken by the Mars rover because it just passed super close to Mars. So NASA angled the camera towards it, shot photon protein fiber beams. That's the best way to get the best imagery, and look at that. It is a cylinder in its shape edge, and it is throwing the scientific community into a tizzy.
I mean, I hope that's the case. I mean, it'd be cool if they came here, those Anunnaki, right? Coming back and be like, yo, we did some stuff. We made you. We're coming back. We feel like you're at a place now to where we can actually, you know, help elevate your society, your race, your civilization. But I see them getting here and just being at a complete loss for words. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have the ability to work together as like one nation. It's like one people to literally elevate your own species, right? Elevate everything from technology to the way we live to everything, and you're just not doing it. Instead, you're just competing with each other. It's stupid, but I mean, that's the way I would see it going. It would like just slap us on the wrist. Like, you guys are dumb. We're going home. Good luck.
So the Air Force admits they went 80,000 years into the future, part 2. So last video we talked about how the Air Force went 80,000 years into the future. Air Force Office of Special Investigations Richard Doty states that they went 80,000 years into the future and they found humans that were not quite human anymore. And they also found 6 planets like Earth where Earth should have been, surrounded by a transparent bubble. Now, the humans that were living there were not quite human. They were actually more robotic. They had incorporated AI into their existence. Now, by doing that, they also were smarter than we were, right? They had planets that had lifted landscapes, lifted off of the ocean floor, so they could survive better. This was really fascinating because 80,000 years in the future, they had octopuses that were walking on land. Maybe they needed to get off the land to get away from these octopuses. And we've always talked about octopuses being potentially alien as well. So in this story, there's so much to discern and think about. But that's what these chrononauts, these time travelers came back and told us. They couldn't even understand the individuals that were on the planet initially, the humans, and they were able to utilize some devices to communicate with them, as it was 80,000 years in the future. Remember, we can't even barely understand Shakespeare, much less, that was 400 years ago, much less 80,000 years in the future.
That would be awesome. I love cyberpunk, dude. I want to be around long enough to be a damn cyborg. I have a tattoo. I think it's this here. Let's see if you can see it. Like it's like a USB port and auxiliary ports and stuff. I don't know. I just like cyberpunk a lot. Sign me up, Eli. Give me some implants, bro. I want to move stuff with my mind. Either way, man. Time travel, aliens. Just give me it. Give me all of it. I need it. Just give me it. Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in close, buddy. I want to be a part of this. This is what I live for. That's it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If there's your first time here and you liked what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, commenting below what you want to see in the next video. Lucid Crew, my fucking YouTube fam, let's go. Appreciate all the donations, the subscriptions, the shares, the comments, the likes, just everything. You guys are awesome. You make this channel so much more fun for me. And honestly, just like life so much easier because you guys are so nice. And it's hard to find people that say nice shit about you on the internet, but you guys are awesome. So thank you. You make me want to keep doing this and make it a lot of fun. So see you next time, guys. Peace.